Hello and good morning. Very often I have seen in the classes that the students are unable to give results through the Vimshottari Dasa. Now, most often than not, we find that the nativities have good charts but poor Dasha system. A good chart and a poor Dasha system involves the native with negative results, whereas a mediocre chart or even not a good chart having great dashas or dashas that do not relate to 6, 8 and 12. The thought process is that however bad the dasha might be, as long as the dasha does not relate to 6, 8 and 12, are not placed in 6, 8 and 12, the natives generally enjoy a very fair life, right? So in a chart, that is the most important aspect of life, is to know how a dasha will work, right? Now I have given you a chart here. Basically we are here dealing with students who are into astrology for some time, and I am not really giving you an explanation for this file or for this screen. It is just the placements of the planets, the aspects of the planets, the yogas that are available in the planets, the position of the D9 chart or planets position in the D9 that we are seeing in this first slide. Now in the second slide, which is the important slide for us because we want to learn how to read the dasha. The Vimshottari Dasa, basically, the Vimshottari Dasa is based on the moon's placement in the chart. Here the moon is placed in Ashwini 2 degrees 54 minutes. Therefore, the first Dasha the native will enjoy is Ketu, followed by Venus, Sun, Moon, Mars, Rahu, Jupiter, and so on. Right? Therefore, now let us try and analyze what will happen or what could have happened in the first 3-year dasha. Now, in the first dasha, which is a Ketu dasha, Ketu is placed in the 10th house. It is the beginning of the child's life. The child is born under Sadesati, right? Because Saturn and Moon are together. Therefore, the child is born under Sadesati and Saturn is Nicha. It is in the 6th house. So, the principal thought process here. Now, you would say, why are you combining transit? The principal thought process is that the child is born in a combination of Saturn and Moon, which says that there will be issues for health in Saturn Moon combination in the 6th house. Because Saturn is Nicha, he is sitting on the Moon Nakshatra Ashwini, right? Therefore, the Saturn Moon combination, that is a transit result actually. The native may have had some health issues or the 3 R's. Secondly, the dasha is Ketu. Now, in the childhood, the Ketu dasha has an effect, or any dasha in the childhood will affect the parent or the parents. Why? Because first 4 years we live on our mother's punya. The second 4 years we live on our father's punya. The last 4 years we live in our previous punyas. Therefore, in the first dasha of a native's chart, the influence is more on the parent than on the nativity itself. The nativity's influence, the influence on the nativity would be health related influence, but the influence on the parents would be worries, tensions, financial difficulties, separation from family, and things like that due to the dasha. Now, in this particular case, it would be Ketu dasha. Ketu is sitting in the 10th house of the native's chart. Therefore, it is sitting in the second house of, placed in the second house of the father's chart. Father is understood from the 9th house. If you understand father from the 9th house, we could say Ketu is sitting in the second house from the 9th house. If you are those people who take the Sthira Karakas to be correlated, then Sun is the Sthira Karaka for father. Again, Ketu is sitting in the 12th house from the Sun. Therefore, in both the thought processes during the 5 years of the native's Ketu Dasha, the nativities would have undergone health issues, the parents would have undergone financial crisis, would have undergone job changes, and therefore during this 5 years the parents of this nativity would have seen health issues, financial ups and downs during this period. Now, if we look at the second dasha, the second dasha is the Venus dasha, which is a natural benefic lord, right? A natural benefic lord, well placed in the Lagna, well placed in the Navamsha. He is in a neutral house. Even though he considers Moon as his enemy, Venus is in a neutral house, right? And he is in the 6th house again, in the Navamsha, right? In the Rashi chart, he is in the Lagna. He aspects the 7th house. He is the 7th lord. He is placed in the 12th house. He is a lord of the 12th, placed in the Lagna. Therefore, what are the results that we can expect? We expect the results of the Lagna because it is placed in the Lagna. It is the lord of the 12th house because Mula Trikona falls in Libra. Therefore, a relationship to the 12th house Karatatvas, losses, separation, foreign, etc. would be the second answer. The third would be the influence of the 7th house being extraordinarily strong, because Venus not only is the lord of the 7th, he also aspects the 7th. Therefore, during the Venus Dasha, Mahadasha, which is a 20-year Dasha, we can't say that the entire Dasha will be extraordinarily great, but it will definitely be a turning point for this nativity. This is the Mahadasha. I am not going into the Pratyantara. I am not going to the Antra Dashas. I am just taking the Venus Mahadasha. The Venus Mahadasha, being the lord of the 12th and the lord of the 7th in the Lagna, therefore, one result, the first result, the result is to the Lagna. Lagna is me. So, the result is to the nativity. Second, Venus aspects the 7th house. Therefore, the qualities of the 7th house, the Karatatvas that represent the 7th house, is illuminated or is highlighted. Then when Venus is also the 12th lord, being the 12th lord in the Lagna will also show that the will also give the influences of the 12th house, which could be foreign or losses or separation or or um, basically it's a negation. It is now being abroad is a negation to the nativity because you are losing your motherland, right? Be earning money abroad may be a positivity to you, but it may not definitely satisfy your emotional quantum, because an emotional quantum is or cannot be answered with a material quantum. The influence of the 7th house and the 12th house on the Lagna. Influence of the 7th house and the 12th house on the Lagna. Venus, 7th lord, 12th lord on the Lagna. So this period would have seen her being away from the family. This period, that is Venus Mahadasha period, would see her getting married before the period is over, and this period would give her a separative influence from the motherland. Now, it is not only the Dasha that gives a separative influence from the motherland, it is also the 4th lord. Now, if you notice in this chart, the 4th house and the 4th lord. The 4th house is associated with Rahu. Therefore, Rahu is an outsider. So, your place of stay, 4th house, place of stay, is outside. Saturn, the 4th lord, is Nicha. So, I do not have the strength of the 4th house. So, my 4th lord is Nicha. My 4th is having the Rahu, therefore showing a weakness in the 4th house. When we talk about weakness, there are two weaknesses we are talking about. One is a materialistic weakness. Second is the emotional weakness. Now, this nativity would probably have enjoyed an emotional weakness than a materialistic weakness. Now, how do we classify or differentiate between an emotional weakness and a materialistic weakness? When malefics rule the houses, benefic houses, when malefics rule the benefic houses, we enjoy material comforts. Why? Benefic planets in benefic houses need not do good. Parashari's one theory. Malefic planets in malefic houses need not do bad. Second theory. Which means to say, benefic planets in benefic houses need not do good, meaning to say it will not do materialistic good, it will do emotional good. I have a Venus in the 4th house. I am very happy, I am very satisfied, content. Jupiter in the 4th house, I am content, family is important, irrespective of the Rashi being a malefic Rashi, right? Similarly, when Mars is in the 4th house or Rahu is in the 4th house, I may get material comforts, but I may not get the emotional comfort. I may not find that piece of happiness that I am searching in all my bungalows that I build, right? Because the malefic planet is associated in a benefic house. So he spoils the benevolence of the benefic house. In which way? Emotional way. Parashari only thought of teaching us astrology to understand the emotional quantum of the soul. He did not give much importance to the materialistic aspect of the soul. But since we are in the Kali Yuga, the materialistic aspects are more prominent, are more important than the emotional aspects of life. Therefore, when we look at the chart, this native has been abroad for 20 plus years. Right? She is abroad for 20 plus years. The fourth house is associated with Rahu. The fourth lord is Neecha. Right? There are two negativities in the fourth house. Jupiter is in the 12th house, second lord, wealth, money of wealth is, or the planet of wealth is, and the second lord is gone away from the second. Second is Kutumba. He is in the 12th. From the second, he goes to the 11th. From the second, he is gone to the 11th. 11th is gains to what? To the second. But what is it a loss to? To the Lagna. I get monetary gain, but I am away from my family. Right? You understand the difference. The idea here is to explain how the dasha will work.